Greetings everyone, Shane here, at the Brick House, back again with another video. Lego Ideas has created a contest in collaboration with Namako that explores Afrofuturism. Afrofuturism is a cultural aesthetic, philosophy of science and philosophy of history that explores the developing intersection of African diaspora culture with science and technology. Namako is a Ghanaian-Canadian internationally exhibiting Lego artist whose work explores the enchanting black futuristic narratives. uses only black Lego pieces in all of his artwork. And now, here are the 10 entries for the Afrofuturism Contest. The first one is From Plains to Planets by Nyami. On the left is a traditional hunter roaming the plains to hunt for food for his family. On the right is his great-great-great-grandson, who is a technomage. The second entry is Welcome to the Citadel of Ra by Kaz16. This futuristic and autosufficient 60,000 piece oasis is an example of progress and technology for countries around it. The main parts of the Citadel include the Nas River, the water source of the city and the light source thanks to bioluminescent algae, the sail buildings, the Office of Government, and their lateral wings which move along with the wind to produce energy, some cloud-like parking lots for the electric flying cars, and a hydroelectric power plant and solar panels to generate electric power. Both the sail buildings and the dam are surrounded by two main parks, the Acacia Loop and the Baobab Forest. This entry is one of my favorites. It's probably my most favorite. It is beautifully conceived, it looks fantastic, and this one is definitely one I'm voting for. The next entry is The Sustainable City by Galaxy 333, and this is a city that blends culture and tradition with innovation and technology, while also maintaining a balance with nature. The Sustainable City is loosely based on East Africa and is an example of what future civilizations should look like. Built in Eco's all-black style, the build draws inspiration from a variety of sources such as existing African architecture, elements of nature, and sustainable design. Many of the city's buildings, although modernized, are built in the styles of architecture found throughout Africa. Obelisks and Egyptian and Sudanese pyramids are all among those represented. There's also heavy emphasis on sustainable energy, with the city utilizing a dam and wind turbines as the primary source of power. The next entry is Anansi, Nyami, and the World Wide Web by Ted A. A build inspired by the Anansi stories of the Akan people of West Africa. Anansi is typically depicted as a spider being with the head of a man. This interpretation is a robotic spider with the face of a tribal mask. One of the main Anansi stories is about how Anansi obtained the stories of the sky god Nyami, who is depicted here being an all-seeing satellite in the skies above. The next entry is The Tree City. The Tree City is a concept of grouping futuristic cities in a tree. This image combines an ideal of reconciliation between nature and humanity and ecology, which is the great struggle of the 21st century. The Tree City is at the same time a metaphor of humanity and more particularly of Africa. Each city may have different codes, values, and culture, but the tree reminds us that although we may all belong to a different branch, we are always part of the same tree. This is my favorite design of all the entries. It is kind of an architectural masterpiece. It definitely looks like a work of art to me. It looks absolutely fantastic. The next entry is Aesthetics by Granari. Wearable technology is becoming more ubiquitous with every passing season. New gadgets, smartwatches, wearable displays, clothing with chips are becoming more affordable and applicable to everyday life. Granari explores how fashion and aesthetics will develop around the functions of future tech. What will augmented reality brought on by wearable displays mean for human interactions? And the designer hopes we can close the gap between the haves and the have-nots in our world. The next entry is Bright Future by Zavi Builds. Inspired by the designer's time spent with the Maasai in Kenya, this digital build is inspired by the animals he saw, the clothing, the jewelry that was worn, and the sense of tranquility, confidence, and joy that he felt when interacting with the tribesmen. The next entry is Through the Lens by Farm, and in this forced perspective build, the glasses are suspended above the main section of the first picture from the point of view of looking through the glasses. The designer attempted to match the contours of the continent of Africa as closely as possible, which the designer said was an interesting and fun challenge. The rest of the build comes completely from the designer's imagination. The next entry is MJMpia by SJ's Workshop. This build is titled MJMpia, meaning the new city in Swahili, and is an Afrofuturistic city display piece. The building features lots of different skyscraper techniques, and you can see a couple of transportation methods that the city uses. It's built on a large-scale base with the lake overflowing off the edge, and the decorations on the side features giraffes, elephants, buffalo, and lions, as well as the patterns inspired by the Akindra symbols. And the final entry is Discovery by Glittle. After crash landing on a remote planet at the end of the known galaxy, the pilot searches for life. Low on supplies and exhausted from trekking through the barren crystal landscape, the pilot rests. A glimmer of purple light awakens him. With their last ounce of energy, they climb further into the crystal canyon. Standing on the edge, they discover a vast metropolis. This design was created in 3 sections, which is the foreground of the canyon built at minifigure scale, the midground as the micro city build, and the background using a tile mosaic to represent the planet's horizon. If you would like to vote for any of your favorites, please visit the Lego Ideas site. I encourage you to explore other Lego Ideas contests and support these amazing Lego designers. That's my video for today. If you like this content, please consider subscribing to the Brick House and turn on notifications. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.